Yeah.
How is what happened to your brother Paul transformed the way you view police, or has it been the same all the way through?
Well, I've always hated the police growing up. I've always,
Why is that?
just just because I was born to two AIM revolutionaries. My mom and my dad were part of AIM, the American Indian movement,
Okay.
and so they were part of that. They were part of the uprising for Wounded Knee that started in 1973, and then I was born in 1976. I was
Right.
born right after the trials started.
Bro.
So my during that time, my mom had moved to Lincoln, Nebraska. So did my dad. My dad was the director of the Indian Center in Omaha, Nebraska. Then my mom moved to Denver, and my dad did too. And then from there, they were taking me to protests, AIM
Yeah.
protests. We started out with um, transforming Columbus Day. Man, that took a lot of years to do. But that was a lot of years that we were out there in the streets locking it down in Denver,
Yeah.
trying to bring awareness to, the word Columbus, what it means to Native Americans. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So from our kids, we started the Native Lives Matter Youth Alliance.
Okay.
So it's, are dealing with some of our girls and some kids in the city.
Can you tell me a little bit about Native Lives Matter and how it came to be? And for me, seeing you in the city, I see you as a leader at the forefront of Native
Yeah.
Lives Matter. How did you get into that position or that role?
Well, I'm actually one of the last people to be pulled on board as part of the team.
Okay.
Native Lives Matter started in 2014,
Mhm.
actually a little bit over a year before Paul was murdered.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I mean, I started getting on board about 2016, and at that time I was traveling. I went from Denver to Los Angeles to Seattle
Wow.
to here, Standing Rock, the UN in New York. I've been across this country taking my brother's name.
Why is it so important for people to know about Native Lives Matter as well as Black Lives Matter?
I think it comes down to the history of both races.
Mhm.
You know, both of us were subjected to slavery.
Mhm.
Native Americans, the black people, we were all both subjected to slavery.
Mhm.
And from what I know is that before they did bring black slaves from Africa, that they were native slaves that were here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So those native people that were slaves were handed black slaves to
Mhm.
them by the white oppressors.
What is it that you want going forward?
Um, well, being full-blooded, I would like to see the abolition. I would
Okay.
like to see it all taken down.
Yeah.
Because to us, the police is a further extension of the U.S. Cavalry.
Yeah.
That's why you see the police wear blue. It comes from the suits that the U.S. Cavalry were wearing.
Ah. Okay.
So to us, when we look at the police, we're actually looking at a descendant of the U.S. Cavalry,
Yeah.
another nowadays form of the U.S. Cavalry.
Ryan Gipp was killed by the Bureau of
Indian
Indian
Affairs.
Affairs, the BIA. What is the Bureau of Indian Affairs and what is their role like in the community? I looked it up quickly online and they look
Yeah,
just like sheriffs.
yeah. It's another form of oppression from the U.S. government.
Uh-huh.
That's their way of saying, okay, well, it's not called the U.S. Cavalry anymore. We're gonna call it the Bureau
Ah,
of Indian Affairs.
interesting,
Yeah.
interesting.
So everything that happens on the res is considered to be federal.
BIA territory.
Yeah, BIA territory.
So with Ryan Gipp was killed by the BIA. Is that the same as being killed by the cops, essentially, or
Yes, actually, it's federal cops.
federal
Yeah,
cops?
that's the best way to put it. Is
Okay,
BIA
okay.
is federal cops.